tells it, and on those that hear it. In the name of the one in whom all things begin, and whom all things end, I make an end to this teaching tale of ancient Ireland,
which, in my opinion,
to this tale of the deeds of the Tuatha Danann,
that sort of concept,
and of the two battles
So in many ways, it
of
is
Moytura.
reminiscent of, quote-unquote, paganism. And that's why the Protestants were so... And if you look online, basically denouncing Celtic Christianity as a sham. It doesn't really exist. It was not a thing. And / it's heretical. So, that's their view on it. And, they might be right about it being heretical in their opinion. But then again, they have a very shallow and dogmatic view of what God is, basically rooted in the scriptures of only Jews. So apparently only Jews know what or who God is, or the nature of God. And anyone since then, or the same time as them, or before them, none of those other people had any conception of the nature of God. Anyway, that's my rant about that for the time being. But the first prominent person that we know of in Celtic Christianity is a heretic. And, Christianity by the 200s AD was well established in Britain. Some say it was brought in 54 AD by Joseph of Arimathea. I don't think you should actually believe that. It's kind of just a legend or whatever. But certainly there's a very, very long
Sóltýr bjargan maður lögur í ræsa
that are more powerful.
Gefur þurr sólið kaunan hagar nöyðir í sóltýr bjargan maður lögur í ræsa
And thence to
Gefur þurr sólið kaunan hagar nöyðir í sóltýr bjargan maður lögur í ræsa
by discovering within ourselves evil desires, only by speaking words of evil, only by our evil actions do we learn the misery which evil brings. Then we will have the knowledge to choose good. So let us thank God that He has given us the capacity for evil, and thence given us the freedom to choose good. Those who follow Christ often believe that only Christians are capable of doing good. They assert that the Christianity has a monopoly of virtue, but this assertion is quite contrary to what we can observe. All of us have met pagans who are tolerant, temperate, chaste, generous, and kind. And we have met pagans who reject the pleasures and honors of this world, choosing instead the way of simplicity and humility. In short, we have met pagans who reflect the virtues of Christ Himself. If only Christians were good, then God would not be good, because He would have denied the rest of humanity the freedom to choose goodness. The goodness we see in pagans is proof of the goodness of God. He has granted every person, regardless of race or religion, the freedom to choose good or evil. The advantage of being a Christian is that through the teaching of Jesus Christ, we learn more fully the nature of goodness, and through his example, we are inspired to choose good. Come now to the secret places of the soul. Let us each inspect ourselves with care, looking at the emotions which stir our hearts, and the thoughts which run through our mind. Let us learn the essential goodness of the heart from the heart itself. Let us learn the goodness of the mind from the mind itself. Why do we blush with guilt or tremble with fear whenever we commit a sin? Because our hearts and minds are good, and so recoil from evil. Why do we shine with joy and dance with delight whenever we do good? Because our hearts and minds are good, and so rejoice at every good action. A murderer may try to conceal his identity, but the torment of his grave conscience are worse than any punishment which the state authorities can inflict. An innocent man who is wrongly accused of some crime may be imprisoned and tortured, but even when his body cries out with pain, there will be peace and serenity within his soul because his conscience is clear. Within our minds there is a kind of natural sanctity which we call conscience. This conscience presides over the mind as a judge presides over a court. It favors honorable and righteous actions, and it condemns hurtful and wrong actions. Just as a judge is guided by a book of law, so the conscience is guided by an inner law which has been written for the soul by God. But in one important respect, the way in which conscience works is different from the way a court works. In a court, lawyers on opposing sides try to make their case by proving argument. They are not trying to reveal the truth, but merely to make the judges their side. Conscience, by contrast, rejects brilliant arguments, and instead wants only the truth in each and every situation. And only when it has discerned the truth will conscience make a judgment. When we read in the scriptures and remark that Moses or Abraham were good people, we are simply saying that in them conscience was a firm and strong judge. When Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, they were exercising their freedom of choice. And as a consequence of their choice they made, they were no longer able to live in the Garden of Eden. When we hear that story, we are struck by their disobedience to God, and so we conclude that they were no longer fit to enjoy the perfect happiness of Eden. And we should also be struck by the nature of that tree and its fruit. Before eating the fruit, they did not know the difference between good and evil. Thus, they did not possess the knowledge which enables human beings to exercise freedom of choice. By eating the fruit, they acquired this knowledge, and from that moment onwards, they were free. Thus, the story of their banishment from Eden is in truth the story of how the human race gained its freedom. By eating fruit from the tree of knowledge, Adam and Eve became mature human beings, responsible to God for their actions. How is it possible then for an act of disobedience to God to bring such a blessing? When Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden, they were like small children. They simply obeyed God's instructions without considering the moral reasons for those instructions. To become mature, they needed to learn the distinction for themselves between right and wrong, good and evil. God gave them the opportunity to become mature by putting within the garden the tree of knowledge, by which they could learn this distinction. But if God had simply instructed Adam and Eve to eat from the tree they had obeyed, they would have been acting like children. So he forbade them from eating the fruit. This meant that they themselves had to make a decision whether to eat or not to eat. Just as a young person needs to defy his parents in order to grow to maturity, so Adam and Eve needed to defy God in order to share his knowledge of good and evil. By defying God, Adam and Eve grew to maturity in his image. So that piece there should strike you significantly, because it is a radical diverging opinion from what is the preeminent theological thought today, especially concerning the nature of Adam and Eve. The traditional view, of course, as I'm sure you all know, is that that was the origin of the original sin. That is what caused humanity to become absolutely corrupt and beyond repair. But to Pelagius, that is the source of humans becoming more like God. And I'm sure my pagan listeners will be happy to hear that Pelagius thought quite highly of some moral character of pagans of his time. And this is something, of course, we will not hear from a mainstream Christian brother today who wants to say that they're worshiping devils and so on. Pelagius understands clearly that God was expressing himself to all of the and that its moral character of the person determines whether they're right with God or not about what they particularly and expresses this with his statement that Christians really only need having an example of Christ to follow, which expresses his opinion or developed idea of what God is. But it does not in any way equate with salvation. It's not like this modern idea where Jesus takes all of our sin and all give us free of us for anything we do. This is absolutely not the idea of salvation. Over the past few years, there's been a consistent theme coming out of the mainstream media regarding Celtic people, namely that they didn't actually exist. Their claim in this regard is that there is no solid genetic evidence to suggest a mass migration from Gaul in the Roman period, as was previously incorrectly theorized. Gaul didn't massively populate Britain, Ireland, and Scotland during the time period previously believed. They conclude that the Celts were not a real thing. They were an invention of the century scholars and incorrect Romans, and all talk of Celtic peoples is nonsense. Well, if talk of Celtic peoples is nonsense, then so is talk of Germanic peoples, Scandinavian peoples, and basically any ethnic group imaginable. Simply put, this is an untenable position, unsubstantiated by the genetic and historical evidence we have, and all such claims that the Celts didn't exist is another example of fake news pushing an agenda. The best evidence we currently have suggests that the people that came to be known as the Celts emerged out of the Pontic steppes during the Neolithic period, possibly already carrying with them the Proto-Celtic language that they carried to all Western Europe and as far to the southeast as present-day Turkey. They were a fair skin tone, tall, had lighter hair colorations including red and blonde. They likely emerged from the same group of people we now call the Germanic peoples. However, because they diverged far earlier, they became a different group genetically. As we will see later, divergent groups always become different from each other genetically, even over historically short periods of time. This theory of the emergence and spread of the Celts is based on both DNA evidence of haplogroup dispersion and language evolution. However, what we must keep in mind is that these are all theories, and the timeline of any of these things could be substantially incorrect if simply one assumption is in error. For instance, it is generally assumed that Proto-Celtic did not emerge until around 800 BC, around the time of the Hallstatt culture. What do we have to substantiate this? Nothing. It is purely a guess based on another guess about when Indo-European came into being. No actual evidence proves a timeline for any of these things. It's all guesswork. In reality, Proto-Celtic might have been spoken far earlier than we previously assumed. In fact, the recent evidence, both genetic and archaeological, point in this direction. Because we know that there was not a late period migration, it is more rational to assume that Celtic spread with the initial dispersion of people from the Pontic steppes, rather than some theorized subsequent wave that left no genetic legacy anywhere but simply brought a language that replaced pre-existing ones. One of the arguments used by those in the media, seldom by scholars themselves, is that Celts, at least in the islands, didn't exist because the earlier people who settled after the Ice Age were groups moving up from Spain and the Middle East. Therefore, we are not Celts, but Middle Eastern. This theory is based on the genetic testing of the remains of a single female from around 4000 BC. Though the haplogroup for these people still exists in present-day Celtic regions, that does not mean it is the main source of DNA. If it were, people of the Isles would be invariably short, with dark